Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Pulp, Punditry and Portchy. Hi everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Pulp, Punditry and Portchy. Really excited in today's episode to be talking to our new signing. So he's a striker who scored more than 250 goals, or roughly 250 goals for Sholing. His name's Lee Wort. So Lee, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, no, so excited to have you here. So how does it feel to be joining AFC Portchester?
Yeah, really good. Like I've said to a few of the boys, I've been in limbo since COVID and not having a club and deciding what I want to do next year. And now that I've got a club, gives you that motivation and boost to get started. And, yeah, fresh start basically.
Awesome, brilliant. And what made you choose to come to Portchester? What did you see here that kind of, did it for you really?
The signings that they've made so far is obviously very attractive. And obviously I know Katz and Molly from Gosport and Rambo. So it would seem an easy transition.
Yeah.
And there's a few of us, or a few players that I've played with in the non-league scene. So today my first training session, settling in, it's been easy.
Awesome, brilliant. And in terms of for the fans who aren't aware, what type of striker are you? Because obviously you play striker, but what kind of striker are you?
Running in behind, I think has been where I've scored most of my goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard working. I think. Just I'd like to think I know where the net is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully I can chip in with a few goals this year.
Perfect. And in terms of the squad we've been picking up as we know ourselves, like we've got Craig Harding who banked in 22 goals last season, Jason Parrish 18 goals, Gosney 16, Rambo 17, but most of those are from the spot as well, but still providing lots of goals throughout the team. Clearly, like looking at your record, you'll be able to contribute to that as well. How do you see the team playing together and contributing? Do you see that working out really well?
Yeah, I think obviously it will take a few sessions, a few games, but I think you'd know eventually where people run, where people play. So yeah, I don't think it would take too much of a understanding really. I think everybody either played against each other or knows each other's game.
Yeah.
Before joining the same team. So yeah, I don't think it would be a hard transition. Hopefully.
Perfect, brilliant. And what we'll do now then, we'll have a little talk about Lee's career and where he's been before Portchester, because he's had a fantastic career to date so far. So where did you start your career? Did you play for any academies, or did you start at Sholing? Because that's where you played most of your career.
No, I was never at an academy when I was younger. I started playing men's football when I was 15, just for a local side in Southampton with just my friends really. And then my brother-in-law Barry Mason, who's obviously now at Sholing, took me and his little brother to Sholing. I went on not a trial, but took us up there to train. And then I was there from the under-18s. Had a really successful under-18s, into the reserves, and then I think I broke into the first team around 16. And I think I scored on my debut. I think I can't remember who it was against, but I think I scored on my debut, and then just went from there really, and then just sort of established myself in the first team. There's some really good players there, but I established myself in the first team, and then 250 goals plus later, the rest is history really. Yeah,
it's a fantastic record. And I mean, when you started off there, were they in the Southern League? I saw like at one point during your time there, I think you were top scorer in the Southern League, 33 goals roughly, something along those lines. My research is from Football Manager, so how accurate it is, but how was it kind of starting your career at that kind of level?
Yeah, I think I started my career in the Wessex League.
Yeah.
And then our first season as a club for Sholing in the Wessex League, I come top goal scorer. I think it was 30 plus goals in our first season.
Amazing.
I found the transition quite easy. I think solely because we had such a good team at Sholing. We was never really a Wessex League team. I don't think so. Going up to the Southern League, I think we finished quite high as well our first season in the Southern League. Sorry. I think obviously the team helps a lot.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think I took it quite well.
And it was quite clear because I think the club obviously dropped back down to the Wessex, but even in that first season back in it, I think you won the league.
Yeah.
Says you got like 49 goals and 48 appearances, so it's a fantastic record. Even winning the Vase as well, which quite clearly I can imagine is one of the career highlights, if not the career highlights. So just tell us a bit more about your run to Wembley in that season and that season in general, because it must have been a fantastic time.
Yeah, it's very surreal. Just even now to think that we've actually won at Wembley. But the run up to the game, we went through a couple of games winning 1-0s and just like your typical cup games basically. And as the closer we got to the final, we thought we can do it. We started to believe that we could do it. And then thankfully Marvin scored in the final, and we actually won it. So
that's awesome. And in terms of like the build up to that and the preparation, like did you go up to London before the game or anything like that?
Yeah, we went up.
How was it, the whole experience of doing that?
Yeah, we went up to stay in a hotel. I think it was on the Thursday or the Friday. So like we sort of stayed in a real nice hotel, sauna, swimming pool.
Amazing.
Just I think
as good as it gets.
Yeah, how the professionals would do it, I'd say. And then obviously I think we had a meeting the night before the game to tell us the team. So then there's no sort of, you can get yourself prepared for the game, and then you travel down to obviously Wembley. The drive to Wembley is obviously when you actually see the arch and you actually get to the stadium. It's the nerves start setting in a little bit.
Yeah.
But then obviously after we won, I think we had a good few days after to celebrate.
I can imagine. Yeah. That's amazing. And following that season, I saw that you went on trial at Accrington, where ex-Southampton player James Beattie, was he manager at the time?
Yeah, he was manager, yeah.
So how did that come about, and what was that experience like for you as well?
So one of my good friends is really good friends with James Beattie, and I think he was asking about like who would he recommend to go up to Accrington.
Yeah.
So a few of my friends from Sholing, everyone they asked about, and they suggested me to go up. So yeah, I think I went up there for 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Great experience, like really, like obviously with James, obviously being a professional, and just being around that professional environment was really big learning curve. Didn't work out, but yeah, I wouldn't take anything back. It was definitely a good experience, and I think I've definitely benefited from going up there.
I can imagine. So following that, you did make a move though, I guess, from Sholing. During that time, you went to Gosport in the Conference South.
Yeah. Spent
a couple of years there. See, you spent half a season with Poole Town as well in the Conference South as well. So how was the step up to the Conference South from, I guess, we were playing majority of football at Wessex or Southern Div 1 as well? How was that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. My first season in Gosport, we had obviously Justin Bennett up top with us, and they were banging in goals every other game. So it was like quite hard to get into the starting lineup, which is fair enough. If they're scoring, then there's no reason for them to get dropped.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've done alright. I think if I'd had a bit more of a run of games, then I reckon I could have contributed more with goals and then halfway through my first or second year, I went on loan to Poole Town, which I know a few players down there, and I really enjoyed that. I think they were in the Southern Premier at the time. I think I contributed with a few goals, and then they went up to the Conference South. I think we tried getting a deal permanently to move to Poole Town.
Right.
But Alex at the time, who was the manager, wanted me back at Gosport, so I stayed there until I eventually went back to Sholing.
Sure. And you went back to Sholing, so it was like the big return, I'd imagine, at that point. And you picked up seemingly where you left off. Like, how was it returning back to the club, and how did it come about?
Yeah, it's easy because all of my friends that I've grown up with all play for the club. So it was just it's not like joining, like it wasn't joining a new club or going back to it. It was just effortless, and just I think I settled in straight away, honestly.
Awesome. And in terms of the seasons that followed that, I mean, you had another few free scoring seasons, like 17-18, like plus 20 goals, and then in 2018-19, won the league obviously with Sholing. I believe you won like 34 games out of the 38. You got 50 goals in all competitions as well. So how was that season, and what do you think led to the success? Like, obviously there's the playing as well, but do you think it was like a tight bunch of players as well? Does that lead and contribute to the success of winning the West Six?
Yeah, I think where the team at Sholing have been together for a few years, they just something clicked. My strike partner Dan Mason, he scored over 60 goals. I scored 50 goals. We didn't leak many goals, so it was just I don't know, it's just something that was obviously, I think it was something like the biggest winning margin of the Wessex League from first to second in the history of the Wessex League.
Sure.
So that gives you some sort of idea of how good we were that year.
Yeah.
We wanted to go the year obviously unbeaten. I think we lost again to Oxford.
Yeah.
Which was devastating, but it would have been good to have that record. But yeah, I think something just clicked where the players just gelled, and not that we didn't gel before, but something different this year.
Yeah.
And so our record proves it.
And I guess you're saying with that strike partnership as well. Like, I guess once you start scoring, and I guess you've got a good relationship with to be able to have a strike partnership like that, and to be able to score that many goals. Would you say?
Yeah. So obviously I've grown up with Dan Mason my whole life, so it's just second nature for us to sort of. It's not happened in previous seasons to score 50 and 60 goals, but that season, something just clicked, and the record.
Awesome. And I guess last season the club stepped back up to the Southern League as well. How did you find that season back at that level? Had much change from when you previously were there, or was it kind of a similar story really?
Yeah, similar story. Obviously the league's changed in the Southern League a bit. Obviously I missed the first 3 months of the season due to travelling. So I came back just optimistic really, just to get back into football.
Yeah.
While I was away, obviously speaking to the manager, and just wanted to come back, and there was only really one club I wanted to come back to at the time. Bit different the year that I come back. I was playing more or less on the wide right, which is new for me, but I just wanted to get back playing, so there was no complaints that year. But I thought we held our own when I signed and Stuart Green signed. We started picking up some good points, and we started going on a really good run. And I think we were, up until COVID, we was in and around the playoffs. So I think if we'd have won our games in hand, we'd have put ourselves right in the mix for potentially playoffs. So yeah, it was really enjoyable to come back to from where Sholing were to get up to where we are towards the end of the season. It was really good.
Yeah, that was interesting actually coming up, and I could see now you say it, I realise you were lower down at your beginning of the season. To get to there was a brilliant achievement. I think just to finish off, it's brilliant to hear from you and hear about your career. Just be really interesting to know like some quick fire questions on what your best career moment is. Would you say it's the Vase, or even if we were to say other than the Vase, what other things are you quite proud of in your career today?
Definitely the Vase number one.
Yeah.
My second would probably be for scoring in the FA Cup first round proper for Gosport against Colchester.
Oh yeah.
We lost 6-3, but coming on in the 80th minute and then scoring a goal against I think they were League One at the time.
Yeah.
And it being on like BBC Match of the Day and stuff, that's something I don't think I'll ever forget.
Yeah. Got that save somewhere, definitely.
Yeah, definitely
imagine.
Got that save, yeah.
And best player you've played against, would you say? Like
played against, because I'm a striker, defender wise, it would be PJ McLean,
right,
which is a good friend of mine, who played for Sholing, I think. He's just strong, powerful, quick. Definitely the hardest defender I played against.
Knows you well, does he? As well?
It does, yeah. It makes it harder.
And in terms of a five-a-side team, if you had to put together with your teammates, former teammates, you can include yourself in there. Who would you pick in your five-a-side team?
So I'd pick myself, Byron Mason, Kevin Gibbons, who's played for Saints, Lee Bright, defender who's played for Sholing, East League, and then Dan Mason.
Awesome. That's one team, isn't it? Brilliant. And just want to say thanks so much for talking to us. Really excited for the new season as well. Brilliant. So in terms of interviews, that's it for today. But what you can do, if you want to check out some of our previous ones, they're on Punditry and Portchy on YouTube. If you want to check us out on social media, we're at Arancione Fans for all the latest information from the fan group as well. Do remember the bar is open as well down here. You've got the QR code system, so you're easily able to social distance. But until next time, Forza Portchy.